What's up guys, welcome back to another Battleborn video. Now in this video I want to talk about Pendles. Pendles is the second new free character to come to Battleborn, and he's the 27th Battleborn overall. And just like I did back with Alani, I want to give you guys my first impressions on him. Now he's been out for early access for a few days. Early access is ending soon. He came out, I believe, the 28th of July, so a week after that exactly is when he's out of early access, available to anyone who can, purchase him with credits. You need 47,500 credits to unlock Pendles. Now, if you're in the early access, you are a season pass holder or you're a digital deluxe owner, and basically because you own these things you get a hero key that can unlock him. Now there's this thing, I don't think this is intended, but if you don't have those two things but you do have a hero key, you can still play him. Some of my friends are playing him that way. I don't think that's intended. They didn't really word it like it was intended, so next time a character comes around that may not be a thing. So take advantage of it now if you don't have the season pass or the digital deluxe. So who is Pendles? Well, Pendles is a rogue. It's kind of weird because he has an Eldred background on his card, but he's definitely a rogue. He's definitely a rogue. The symbol's there for rogue. And he comes from the same water world as Alani. He's this like snake humanoid type thing. He has like a robot arm because like one of his tentacles are like snake tail hand arm things. Like they fell off. Poor guy. And he is an assassin. He is like an assassin for hire. He's killed a lot of things, and he loves murdering. He loves murdering. He sounds Australian. I think he's like, what? It was like a British, like Cockney type thing. I don't know. I don't know the exact thing to call his accent, but he has a cool accent. I like him. At first, when he first was like revealed, I didn't really like his design, but it grew on me. A lot of things grow on me nowadays. And I don't know, I think he's really good. I think he fits into like the Battleborn. Like I think he just fits into Battleborn really well compared to the other characters and stuff like that. He's funny, he's murderous, he's fun to play. Definitely way out there, and I love him. Now, as far as like how good he is, let's kind of like go into his abilities first and what he does. Again, he's an assassin, so he's really good at like getting in, finding an isolated person, killing them, like bursting them down, getting out like it never happened. He's really good at that. Really bad at like team fights and stuff like that. You really want to stick to like the 1v1s, like the sneak up 1v1s, because he's pretty much always going to win if you catch somebody off guard. If they see you coming, though, it's a different story. But as for his abilities, because these are important. His passive, literally what he's centered around is his passive. And basically what his passive is when he's out of sight of an enemy, he instantaneously cloaks. And this cloak is indefinite. The only thing that breaks it is your death or if you attack. Taking damage will not break you out of it. So it's a really good passive. It's a really unique passive. I really hope they do like more passives like this in the future, because a lot of the passives in the game, they're kind of basic, but Pendles' passive is really, really cool. And this is something they really wanted to do. They wanted to make it so he didn't have like a skill cloak like Dandy or like Shane and Oryx. They wanted him to have like a really cool passive cloak. And I really hope they do more stuff like this with passives in the future. As for his talent takes off 25% CC duration. So let's say you get CC'd for like 2 seconds, like you get like a 2-second silence on you. It's going to only last like, a second and a half. Is it that big of a difference? No, but it's definitely better than the CC duration gear, which takes off like a fraction of a second. I cannot stress CC duration gear. This may be a little off topic, but never run that. It's never good. It's a wasted stat. Pendles is really the only thing worth running because it's intrinsic to him and it actually takes off half a second at the very least. But anyway, that's his talent. As for there's one more other thing about his passive. When he's cloaked, he is very fast. He's like Caldarius fast. When he's out of cloak, he's really slow. Like when Alani launched, slow. That's pretty slow. So he's pretty like vulnerable outside his cloak. Now moving on to his like two main abilities, you have his smoke bomb. What his smoke bomb does is it's a bomb. You throw it at your feet. It will recloak you. It will put an AoE effect, and if you pick a certain augment, I believe it's level 2 on the left, you can blind somebody. So it's basically, if you're not already low and they're not already like hitting you, if you use this on them, it's basically get out of jail free card. You can easily get away with it. easily get away. Like again, they'd have to like have you low and already be hitting you as you blind them for them to kill you without you getting away. So it's really easy for him to get away. It's also kind of good for finishing off kills. You don't really want to use it as like an initiator a lot of the time, even though it also can slow. Left that out there, it can slow, so it does a lot of things in one. It's a really good, solid ability. It has a lot of like uses to it, but yeah, you don't really want to use it as like an initiator. More of like a finisher offer, you know, a finisher. Kind of what I do is like when I come out of cloak and I start like bursting people down when they're about like a bar or so left of health, like a small bar of health left, I'll use it just to make sure, you know, nobody steals my kill and I can get away cloaked like they never saw me. As for his other ability, it's pretty cool too. He takes his weapons, which are his commas, you can see them on screen. They are like, you know, like icicles type thing, and basically what he does is with injection he puts poison on them, takes them both, stabs you with them, and it does burst damage and leaves a small poison effect on you. So it's pretty good. I definitely like it. There is a level 1 augment for it on the right, which makes you dash, like you'll dash towards them right before you do it. And I definitely recommend that over the other one, which I believe is like a slow. The slow can be useful, but the dash, I don't know. I feel like the dash is a lot better. Anyway, those are his two main abilities. Then you have his ultimate, which I wouldn't say is as good as his like two abilities, like as far as like, you know, abilities would go. Like his ult's definitely not the best in the game. It's definitely not the worst either. It's just like a good middle ground ult. Basically what it does is when you like activate it, you spew out this huge poison cloud around you, lasts like 5 or so seconds, and what it does, it'll just basically hurt the enemy. It'll basically just like up your DPS because you're doing the cloud poison damage as well as, you know, like your attack damage and stuff like that. It'll also greatly reduce injection's cooldown. I believe it makes it 3 seconds. 3 seconds while the ult is active. So you get it off a few times on your ult. It's a pretty decent ult. It also does not break your cloak like injection will. It will not break your cloak. So that's cool. I definitely like it. I think he has a really solid kit going for him. He's definitely built to do what he does well. Again, that is finding that one isolated enemy teammate, like getting around to them and just bursting them down, recloaking, getting right back out of there. I cannot stress, do not team fight with him. Unless there are two enemies that are really low, you do not want to get into like team fights with him. He's not a Lonnie. He can't really go in and 2v1 people effectively. He is a glass cannon, very vulnerable outside his cloak. Really, you want to be cloaked with him basically all the time. It's like if you played Borderlands and you played the Gunzerker. You want to be Gunzerking all the time. With him, you really want to be cloaked all the time. Another thing about his cloak, all AI completely invisible to. Minions, turrets, sentries, completely invisible. This guy is probably the best melee character in the game for dealing with turrets. That dumper turret in the back of your sentry and overgrowth, I'm just gonna run around through the cubby hole, go up to it, gonna inject in it, beat it down, smoke bomb to finish off the kill, get out of there like it never happened. And then my team can move in on your sentry with no slows, and it's pretty effective. I do that a lot to turrets. It's a really like good method to taking out turrets and getting out. This is also something I kind of skipped over. It's part of his kit. It's really easy to forget about, and I basically never use it because it's kind of bad. He has this ranged attack. He can throw a shuriken like over and over, and you would think, you know, oh cool, throwing star, that's probably pretty cool. He could be like Genji. No, not really. It's pretty bad. It's really slow. It's kind of unreliable. It's really only good if they're like right outside your melee range and they're running away and they have like no health and you just throw one or two at them. That's really all it's ever good for. It's a really, really bad like ranged attack. I don't think it needs to be buffed because like his melee capabilities themselves are so good. I don't really think that they need to buff his range attack. I think that just kind of pushes him over the top a little bit. I think it's fine how it is, being kind of bad and easily forgettable. So, let's talk about this. Is he OP? Well, no, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Now, when Alani came out, I didn't really think so either. But after a little bit of like time and like a week or so of playing with her, I kind of felt he was overwhelming because of how much health she had, and they have gone and fixed that. So Alani is a pretty well-balanced character now. Pendles, I really feel like is fine as he is. Again, this is only like my first impressions. I've only had like a few days to play him, so my thoughts can change, but I'm pretty sure they're going to stay how it is because he is not like incredibly overwhelming. Again, he has the one thing he does very well, that's being an assassin, getting those like sneak up 1v1s and winning them. That's pretty much what he does, and he's good at what he does. Outside of that, he's not really all that great at anything. He has this one role that he fills really well, and unlike Alani had multiple roles that he could fill very well. He was basically good at like everything he could possibly do. Pendles is not that. Now, within like the first like less than 3 hours of him being released, I would, I'd go around, look at some like Discord servers, look at some streams, and I saw a lot of different ways people wanted him nerfed, and I really don't feel like he needs a nerf at all. I think like the only like reasonable nerf I heard is that if he takes a certain amount of damage, it breaks his cloak. Like that's the only reasonable nerf I've heard for him at all. And if they did that to him, I'd be fine with it. I think that'd be fine. But even then, if they never did that, I'd also still be okay with it. But yeah, I think the reason people want him nerfed is because he's new, and like anything that's new, they don't know how to deal with it. So it's a knee-jerk reaction of, hey, I need this nerfed. I don't know how to counter this. He's too good. And again, I really don't feel like he's too good. You guys may disagree. You guys may agree. Let me know in the comments below. What do you feel about Pendles? Do you like him? Is he OP? Is he not OP? Again, I really don't think he's OP. I think he's in a really good spot. I think they built him very well, considering he only does the one thing and does it well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is. So those are my thoughts on Pendles. You can look forward to a few more Pendles videos coming out. I'm definitely working on mastering him. I only have one more challenge left, and then there's just leveling him with the double XP weekend that's coming up this weekend, guys. This upcoming weekend, double XP. So if you have characters you want to level, get on that. I don't know if I'm going to make a news video by itself about it because, it's kind of small. Be like a 1-minute video. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.